Back. Let's dive right into it. I'm not gonna kind of dive into the details of what to do. That is something that is not really relevant. It's more about the whole idea and concept of sex in general and the important ideas of it, so when you go into it next time, you're not disappointed and you don't kind of push a partner or somebody out of your life because you thought it was going to be a certain way. Sex is something that I feel like a lot of young viewers that I have in the community and outside the community do not really understand fully, just because of lack of experience and you're young. Here's what sex isn't. It is not greedy. You can't be selfish. You can't be looking for pleasure and that's it. It is work. It is a partnership. It is being patient. It is being understanding. It is sacrificing some things you might need or want, especially in the beginning. It also ties into sex appeal, which also can carry you through life as another way to be confident in the world. Alright, say it's your first time, you got somebody. Set the mood. The mood is so important. If you can get somebody comfortable, and as long as they're consenting and you both are feeling each other, it's gonna happen. Because I have like mood lights, I have a surround sound speaker, it's comfortable, and it just makes them feel like this is gonna be fun. Foreplay, teasing are keys, man. Those are the things that are gonna get you initiate something that is kind of complex. A fun way to think about sex is it's kind of like a mini talent show. You can kind of show off your skills and your talents in the bedroom. If you're good at dancing, singing, shaking it, if you're good at anything sensual along those lines, this is gonna go well for you, and you should realize that, like, hey, I have a skill that I can show you that will turn you on, and then in turn will transfer into some amazing sex. If you have a partner who really loves a certain body part or a certain way that you do things, take advantage of that, man. What I'm talking about with all this stuff is not to abuse your power. That's nothing that you want to be a part of, and that's something that you do not want your partner to feel. People in the community, especially who have been through some traumas in the past, which is very common, you do not want to make them feel like they can have some flashbacks here or that they're going to feel pressured to do anything that they don't want to do. Bottom line, sex is basically just understanding yourself and your partner's pleasures, fantasies, and goals. That's all it really is. If you can understand what your partner likes and what you like, it's a wrap. And if you can carry that on outside of the bedroom and you can make your partner feel sexy, you could do that with strangers that you're trying to meet on a first date or something like that. You can give off this very sensual, passionate energy. It can also empower you to feel like, yo, I'm good at this. And if you do have that within you, do not try to hide it. Just try to show it in more genuine ways that your partner will feel comfortable. When it comes down to the dirty work, you gotta really understand that it's not about getting pleased, and it's not about just pleasing. It's about both, and being considerate about what they like, what you like, and compromising in those situations. So say you go on a first date, sex goes great, then over time you guys continue to date and you continue to have sex. You're gonna have different experiences almost every single time, and you cannot let it stay the same every single time. It's gonna get boring, your partner's gonna get over it, and it's just gonna turn into some little quickie in and out, I'm done. You wanna have something that's gonna last you, especially in the lesbian community. It's a lot about just having multiple orgasms and feeling really fucking good most of the time. If you think you only enjoy A, B, and C, you might actually enjoy the full alphabet and you just don't realize it because you haven't found the right partner or you haven't been open-minded enough to try things like that. It really is important that you're constantly communicating about your needs, you're talking about it afterwards, you're kind of going over the good things, the bad things, and if things happen in the moment, you can say something about it because you both make each other feel comfortable enough to do that. For example, I really feel like I'm a dominant person, and when I was in relationships with men before I came out, 22 years of my life, I just didn't really realize that sex wasn't supposed to be that way. I just thought that I was supposed to be very submissive, I was supposed to please and just be the pleaser overall, and I was faking it most of the time. It doesn't have to be that way, and it shouldn't be that way. It's kind of sad that a lot of us in this world still think that and believe that, and don't realize that, hey, you can ask for what you want. You can express your dominance, and you can have somebody who is attracted to that as well. I might have only had so many years of experience with women, but that was just kind of the key to unlock the things that I knew I've had within me. As soon as I started having sex with women, it was over. So some things I realized is sex is not about just the orgasm and the end result. There should just be no expectation or goal when pleasuring somebody. If you're not enjoying pleasing somebody, it's not gonna work because they're gonna feel that body language and they're gonna feel that energy that you're putting out. And and they're not going to be that turned on. One important thing to remember though is when you're pleasing and you feel like this is working, they're liking it, don't get caught up in those thoughts, and don't forget that, hey, you have a job to do. And if you get lost in those ideas that like, oh, this feels good, what you're doing, and they're not really moving, their body language isn't really telling you that, hey, this is gonna end in something big, you have to switch. And that's important. If you're not aware of your partner's body language throughout the entire process, you're gonna get caught up, and it's gonna end up in either a prolonged buildup or just something that is just not necessary. This is something that is only for you and your partner. All those outside images and words from other peoples and peers, people really like people who are free, open, and just willing to experiment. That's how you have passionate, long-term sex. Sensual energy is something that you have to fight for, and sometimes you just have to let your surroundings inspire you to keep going and keep trying different things. If you lose that sensual energy, not only in the bedroom, but in your relationship, you're gonna start to lose your partner. And whether there's physical or mental limitations when it comes to that, it's still important that you are making sure your partner feels wanted. And it's one of the biggest reasons why relationships fail, because they don't compensate, they don't try different things, they stop trying, and the sex goes down the drain, and then there's the relationship. You should be laughing during sex. You should be crying sometimes. And more than once, it should end with a out of breath, looking up at the ceiling, like, wow. And it is just practice. If you're with a consistent partner, every time you should be thinking, hey, I want to try something different. I want to keep trying to improve my game, so that way you're constantly impressed. You should be trying to do multiple things at once if you get to that point. If you can really blow somebody's mind, man, you're gonna lock them down forever. And that should be your goal, is to really impress somebody, to really make them feel good about themselves. Walk away from the experience with a healthy feeling within them, like, I feel so much better and I did things out of my genuine interest and you've enjoyed them. Sex to me is one of the most beautiful experiences we human beings can have. If you're blessed enough to have it and you are able to and you enjoy it, take advantage of it. Find somebody who loves to take advantage of it in ways that you love it too. And it's okay to not really like certain things and avoid those things. Certain positions for me are just not for me. It's okay to do what you enjoy, because that's what it is. And don't get caught up in trying to please somebody so much that you lose yourself. That's another tip for your big gay sister. Go have fun out there, kids. Be safe for protection. Doesn't matter what sex you're having sex with. Just be safe. You know what I'm saying? There's dirty people out there.